A Father's Love, Episode 43. Dad and I were quiet for almost 5 minutes. I tried to say something a couple of times, but I could see that Dad was lost in deep thought about something. "Dad," I finally mustered the courage to say something. Dad looked at me with one of those rare expressions without saying anything. "When you're ready, I'd like to hear the story of how you started this multi-billion-dollar empire. Why are you so insistent on hearing my story? I've already given you 2 wonderful examples." Dad tried to smile, but it quickly disappeared. "I've always seen you as my role model. I believe you've experienced things that have prepared me for my journey." Dad lit up. "This lesson won't be complete without your story." Dad nodded in agreement, smiling slightly with the corner of his mouth. "I can see you're not in the mood to share your story. I hope you can share it with me one day before anyone else." I got up, picked up my bag, and left the office. "It's okay," Dad said just before I stepped on the staircase. "Let's talk about it." I rushed back to the office and jumped into the nearest chair. "It's not that I didn't want to share, but this is one of the main reasons I'll never forget your mom." Dad looked at me, expecting a reaction, but I didn't flinch. "I had no money when I started this business," Dad continued, looking relaxed. "The service idea was clear to me, and I implemented a strategy to offer the service, inspired by something I saw in Europe during my visit. The team consisted of your mom and me." "The idea, the strategy, and the team," I said excitedly. "Exactly. We had no money to do big things. To make matters worse, my credit was bad, but your mom's credit was good. This meant I couldn't qualify for loans. Your mom had good credit, but we decided to use her credit to get loans to invest in other portfolios. No money or credit, so what did you have?" I realized I had time, drive, and immense strength. I couldn't quit my job, so I leveraged the time I had. I worked during the day and carried out business activities on weekends and evenings. Time is something everyone has. What made it an asset for you? I've noticed something about my personality. Being an introvert, I don't have many friends or social activities, and this turned out to be an advantage. I bet there were times you wished you were an extrovert." "Definitely," Dad interjected before I finished the sentence. "Once I discovered the benefits of my personality and how it aligned with my purpose, I never regretted my personality again." "That's amazing. The drive, strength, and the fact that I could do anything within good moral parameters to achieve my goal were the things I had to apply to start my business." "What do you mean by doing anything within good moral parameters?" "At the time, I was professionally employed, working in one of the high-rises downtown. I would be in a suit and tie in the morning, but in the evenings and weekends, I would be doing jobs that might be considered beneath my status. I basically had to throw my ego out the window and do whatever necessary, but it had to be within good moral boundaries. I wouldn't steal or harm anyone just to achieve a goal because I could do anything. That wouldn't be appropriate. I know you've told me in the past that you had to use some of your personal savings. What about someone who might not have any money? There are different ways. The widow we talked about earlier borrowed vessels. Peter and John provided something that enabled the man to make money. You can get a loan, but in my case, I didn't have good credit. You can secure an asset that'll make money for you to use for your startup. But you need money to secure an asset, though. You need to expand your thinking. An asset can be acquired with money or exchanged for something else. In my case, I exchanged my time, which was an asset, with my employer, who paid me money, part of which I used for the business." I looked down, imagining what Dad had to go through in the early days of his business. "Thanks, Dad, for doing what you had to do. You're an inspiration to me." I looked at Dad. "One more question I have is about legal shortcuts." Dad burst out laughing and couldn't seem to control himself for several minutes.